And now it's time for Insights.
I want to start out saying that I love mathematicians, amateur mathematicians, official mathematicians, mathletes as you're called. I love you guys. You're great at it. You're the backbone to science and a lot of other disciplines. And I want you to realize that making associations is important to math. But you have to be critical of some of these associations. And maybe talk to some people who are not math majors every once in a while to make sure you don't fall into some traps. Almost every mathematical concept I can think of has entire woo-woo or new age sites devoted to it. Whether it's pyramids, higher dimensional math, fractals, labyrinths, just about anything. Even imaginary numbers. So just realize the differences between the claims and reality. The ratio, the golden ratio, phi, okay? It's found in nature. It makes for some beautiful art. But a lot of the claims that are associated with it are spectacular. Did you know that there are some mathematical geometric shapes in which faces emerge? Well, I'll let you know. As humans, we're really good at seeing faces in things, whether they're there or not. There's lines on a paper. You see, the connection between phi and the natural world is sometimes there. Sometimes things grow in a ratio in relation to each other that is similar to phi. I would think that, as some sites suggest, the finger and the phalanges of the finger with the longer and the smaller phalanges probably are related to phi at least. But here's the problem. The 80-20 rule. Have you ever heard that 80% of the work is done by 20% of the people? Sometimes abbreviated down to a 90-10, but 80-20 seems to be pretty believable because they're not very easy numbers to check. One's bigger than the other. That's the main point of the rule. Most of the work is done by fewer people. How many? 80 and 20. If you saw an 80-ounce drink next to a 20-ounce drink, you would not know the ratio between them. You would know that one is bigger than the other because people are not good at telling these ratios. They're good at saying one's bigger than the other. If we had another ratio that's much more intuitive to us, like 1/2, we'd be able to tell really quickly if something's half or not. But if one's bigger than the other, it could be many other ratios. So many of the things that people associate with phi may in fact actually be other ratios that are similar, but not quite. And in biological systems, there's a lot of variation. So if you find one that matches phi, it doesn't necessarily mean that all of them do. Now, has anyone seen the movie Pi? I haven't read the book Pi, but in the movie Pi, they're not talking about pi much. They're talking about phi. They're talking about the golden ratio and spirals everywhere. Well, you can find things when you're looking for them pretty well. But with a ratio like phi, if you made a movie like 1/2 the movie, there are so many things that are related to 1/2. There's a half-life. There's half-time. There's a half-brother and a half-sister. There's just so many things that relate to 1/2 that you could make so many associations. It doesn't mean they're actually necessarily meaningful. With this 80-20 rule, just one more thing regarding it and the whole phi issue. If somebody says that 80% of the work is done by 20% of the people, one of the things that someone might claim is, how would they know that? And they didn't do the research. Well, you see, that's not the question. The question is, why would they say that if they didn't do the research? And that's just to have an answer or to fool you. And the same argument is made with the Bible. If something's found in the Bible, someone might say, well, How would they know that? Even though they wouldn't have to know that to say it. They would just have to have a reason. And having an argument and having an explanation is good enough reason to say just about anything for some. So I want you to think about that. When it comes to math, there are a lot of associations out there. There are a lot of woo-woo claims involving math. And just kind of pare down to what is observable on these things. Thanks.